How's it guys, welcome back to the live, and today I'll be going over a few coins, and there's a lot of updates that I want to go over as there's been a lot of news. We don't have much economic news, but in terms of the crypto news, I do want to go over a few things as it's important to keep up to date with that space, right? So yeah, let's get straight into it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and yeah. I also put a question in the comment section, so if you have any charts that you want me to look at, feel free to comment below. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So first up, I want to look at the Fear and Greed Index. You can see that we're still in that neutral zone at that 51, which is very good. Obviously, we've caught up some steam, which is quite nice. Looking at some news today, we don't have much news within the economic side. We do have a bit of news, but it's not red folder, which means that it's not high impact news. We do have FOMC speeches later today, but it's not high impact news. And then when looking over here, you can see that Genesis bankruptcy obviously was filed and has been priced in within November, right? So a lot of stuff has been happening. And then also looking at FTX, so you can see that FTX Liquidate is looking to restart the exchange. And so we'll see what happens here. A lot of people are looking at potentially them trying to, obviously open up accounts again, or we're not too sure what's happening here, but it will be known soon. So that's pretty much what we have for news. Not much. So I just want to go over this token here. You can see that FTT token went up around about 48% since the announcement, which is quite hectic. And you can see it shows a lot of, maybe a potential to restart the exchange, which is quite good. So yeah, let's get straight into the charts. There's a lot to look at here. I do want to go over a few important charts. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So looking at the 4-hour chart here, what can we see? Okay, so on crypto, we can see that, okay, we have been ranging in this zone from 21,000, so 21,000 area to the 20,500 zone, right? And you can see that there is some type of bull flag here. So you can see price is consolidating in this flag. And what this typically means is that price is going to go up, right? But there could be two scenarios, and I'll be going over both scenarios. So this is the first scenario where we could see a potential break of this top resistance line to the upside, and testing these levels at 25,000. Or we could look at something like this, where looking on the daily chart here, you can see that we might have some type of head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so we might have some type of head and shoulders pattern over here, and I'll draw it out for you. So we have this left shoulder over here, this head over here, and a potential right shoulder over here, right? So that's currently another scenario that we're looking out for, and we'll have to see if this plays out, because so the potential target zone could be around 19,400, 19,500, and then obviously we could see a bounce off there, and then see, if you're measuring the shoulder, the head, you will see a movement of around about 30,000. So yeah, we might see some type of pullback within the next couple of days. Why I don't see a pullback is because when looking at the dollar index, you can see we've kind of bottomed out here, right? You can see that the daily RSI, the stock RSI, is at the bottom, and what that means is we might get some type of move to the upside, which will lead to crypto falling down, right? So we could definitely see some type of retracement within the next couple of days, but we'll have to wait and see, and we'll see what happens there. So yeah, looking at the dollar index here, sorry about that. Looking at the dollar index here, you can see that we do need to start coming up until this level, until we start getting a retracement to the bottom on the crypto side. So that's currently what I'm looking at now. And you can see that this level at the moment over here, you can see that we currently in this bull flag range. Okay, So in order for us to break out of this range, what needs to happen is price needs to break this resistance zone at the top here. And that's currently what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. So I've gone through both scenarios there, and obviously the higher time frame, we are still bullish, right? Looking at the weekly here, we're still bullish on the weekly. So what needs to happen on the weekly chart, we need to see some type of closure above this area, right? So this is the previous high. We closed in equilibrium of that high. So we need to try to close above this area, 21,500, in order for us to carry on our movement to the upside. So yeah, that's currently what I'm looking at the moment, for Bitcoin at least, and then I'll be going over a few charts in a second. So yeah, I mean, you can see on the weekly chart that we've been respecting this line. We got that massive rally due to obviously the inflation data slowing down, and there was just a lot of bulls within the market, and the price got pushed up, right? So that's currently how I'm looking at it. And then looking at let's go to this chart here, the total market cap. So you can see that the crypto total market cap on the weekly chart actually closed above this, this triangle pattern. So what that means is you see we're getting this retest, and we might see prices come back up to areas such as this level here. So this zone over here could be the next target zone for the crypto market cap. We could see some type of consolidation before we in there, but I do think that we'll see some higher prices within the next couple of weeks / days, because of the fact that we are looking bullish on higher time frames, and obviously we all know that higher time frames are better than lower time frames, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other charts to look at, but yeah, you can just see that the dollar is at the bottom of a support zone, which is why I'm thinking we might get some type of retracement from the crypto market. So that could happen within the next couple of days. It is a weekend, so we'll have to see. It might be quite a slow weekend, because obviously the forex markets and the commodity markets are closed, but we'll have to see what actually plays out. Yeah, so that's the scenario that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. And looking at Ethereum here, you can see that on the 4-hour chart we are also still in this range. Okay, so this range over here, it's quite a horizontal range, and you can see that price has just been bouncing off these zones. Okay, so for Ethereum to look for higher levels, what needs to happen is we need to break the 1608 level, where we've come stuck for the past couple of days. So in order for us to break this zone, we need a larger volume, and price needs to come back to the 1640 daily resistance, where since the start of the whole FTX. So when the FTX crash happened, what happened was this is what we got, and now we've almost recovered all of those losses. So we'll see what we can get from that. Alternatively, what can happen is price can come down and start retesting this line, and that's obviously according to the S&P 500 as well. So you can see what I was speaking about on Wednesday. We're sitting up here, right, on Wednesday, and now in the last few days we've actually come down, and we might be retesting the lower levels. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, it does look like we will get a retracement within the next couple of days. And then obviously I'll be loading up on some longs at the bottom here. So this is the target zone for Bitcoin if we do get some retracements. It would be this area over here, so around about 19,500. Okay, and why is that? Because we have some type of support and resistance at this area here. So you're going left here, you can see that there's a lot of support here, so this would be the next ideal zone. And obviously that plays in line with this whole head and shoulders pattern, right? So we'll have to see. So if there is some type of retracement, what will happen is price will bounce off this area over here at this 19,500 zone, and we should get a move to the upside. So yeah, currently I do think that the retracement will happen within the next couple of days. If not, it would be this scenario where we have a bull flag, and we obviously take from the start of the bull flag to over here, and what this lines up with is around about 25,000, 24,000. So alternatively, you know, we do have two options here where we get that retracement or we break these levels. So just make sure you're watching these zones, because what can happen is that it's both scenarios, right? So we can do this, right? We can break the zone and start moving up, and once we break that 21,500 area, then we're going to be starting a new type of move, a bullish move, right? But if we break this zone over here at 20,000, you know, 350, then we can look at potential targets back down to this area over here, which is our 19,500 zone. And the thing is with this, looking at this chart right now, what you can see is that we're trading in this bearish pennant, you know, it's a typically bearish pattern, and we actually broke down, and now what's happening, we're retesting that. And that's what happens when, you know, when you break out at certain levels, you normally come up and retest these levels. So you can see that price was trading in this range, broke down, now we're retesting it, and now price could easily come back down to the 19,500 zone. So that's what I'm looking at, and that also lines up with a potential head and shoulders pattern, okay? So typically with the head and shoulders pattern, your left shoulder is in line with your right shoulder, okay? So this is a prediction of where I think that the target zone of this retracement might be. So you can see that the left shoulder and the right shoulder would have to be in the same area, and then the head is obviously at the bottom, okay? So when you measure this move, you take it from the top of the head to obviously here to the bottom, and then you put it up here, and what you get is around about 27,000. So if we get a retracement within the next couple of days, what we might see is price soaring to those levels. So don't be surprised if we get another massive rally within the market. Obviously a retracement is possible, and that is currently what I'm looking at. You can see on this 4-hour chart, we did successfully break out this pattern and came out and retested it. So we might be able to see a retracement within the next couple of days. And that was the first scenario. And then the second scenario was obviously we're in this bull flag. So we've been trading in this range like this. And what typically a bull flag does is we break out a certain zone at the top here, and we start moving up, okay? So two scenarios are definitely could happen here. Obviously, when looking at, I want to show you this quickly on the daily chart. I'll show you here. So looking at this now, what you can see is, let me just put it here. So looking at the stochastic RSI, okay, what you can see is that we are currently at the top and we are heading down, okay, on the daily chart. So this gives us an indication that we might be moving down a bit more before we start moving up. And you can see whenever we're at the top here, what tends to happen on the daily, we come down and then we start to move up. So within the next couple of days, we can maybe see some type of movement down before a move up. And we'll have to see, because what we'll want the stochastic to start moving at the bottom here and start forming some type of crossover at the bottom, and then we start to look for that pump. So you can see at the moment we are currently at the overbought region, and what that means is that price can definitely start retracing back down to the target zone at 19,600, and that lines up with the whole head and shoulders pattern. So, and this obviously this pattern here, let me just draw it out again. So we have our left shoulder here, our head, and then obviously the right shoulder would be here, okay? So that lines up with our target area, and if there's a retracement, that is currently where I would see price come to, at this target zone at 19,400, 500 areas. And then once we reject off this zone, we can definitely see prices at 29,000, even, well, obviously first 25,000, because that's our nearest resistance over here. And then if we break that zone, then we can see 29,000 to 30,000. So yeah, I mean, obviously the prediction for Bitcoin, I do see some type of retracements. I did go over it now. We looking at the 4-hour charts, I'll go over it again. You can see that we obviously, we're in this pattern here, okay? And this pattern is typically bearish. So when looking at this, you can see that price comes down, and now we're retesting this area. So it looks like we might come back down to targets such as 19,500. But that is one prediction, okay? And we would only get to that target if we break areas such as this zone over here. Okay, so this is our most recent support. So if we break the support zone at 20,000, 20,500, 20,600, then we can see price come as low as 19,500. But alternatively, what we can see is this pattern break out to the upside. So this is a bullish pattern. So what could happen here, if we come down and start retesting the zone, come back up, we can see price come up and break this 21,500 zone. So there's obviously two scenarios, and we'll have to keep an eye on those levels, right? So we'll just have to wait and see where price is going, and yeah. Sorry, I don't know what happened here. Oh no. My screen has gone way too big here. Let me just. Sorry about this. Wait, let me just fix this. What has happened? I'm just trying to fix this. I don't know what is happening here. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. Very weird. So what I do expect to happen is obviously that. Sorry about what happened there. There's been obviously, whenever my screen goes out, it tends to do type of things like that. So basically, yeah, what I'm looking at is obviously those levels, and then looking at Ethereum, same type of picture here. We can see potential moves down to areas such as, if we break the support area at 1510, we can see levels come down to 1390. So we just need to make sure that we start respecting these levels, okay? So you can see with Ethereum, we've been trading in these zones, and I'll show you guys now on a better picture where I'm looking at buying and obviously derivative trading, right? So looking at Bitcoin here, you can see that I'm looking for bars above 21,117. So I'm looking for bars above this zone here, okay? And the reason why I'm looking for bars above here is because whenever price breaks this zone, we tend to come up to the 21,400 area. Same with here, we broke the zone, came up, retested the zone, broke above, came up. And you can see that this area is where we start to move up, right? So I'm looking for bars above this area over here. So if we get bars above here, and then alternatively, I'm looking for sells below 2854. You can see within the last couple of hours, it's been very stagnant, not much happening. So, but yeah, if you want to look at this, I'm looking for bars above 21,117 and sells below 2854. So it'll be something like this, where I'll be looking for bars above here and then sells below here. So this is obviously just for futures trading, and that is currently what I'm looking at. And if you want to put this in your chart, you can do so. Obviously, The Ethereum one will look a bit different. Similar though, we'll have bars above 1555. So we have bars above 1555 over here, and then sells below 1532. And obviously where we're currently in now, for me it's a no trade range, because the thing is with this range over here, there's no direction, right? We are just currently ranging. But whenever we break above a certain area of resistance or support, then we start to move, right? We start to find levels. So this would, if we break this level, then we'll know that this area is now our support, and that's when I'll start to look for longs. So that's currently what I'm looking at. Then same with this area over here. Now, for the sells position, I'll be looking at sells below here, back down to the support area, and that obviously has been tapped a few times on the left here. So yeah, that's currently what I've been looking at for these charts. So it will be those two, and then when looking at some other coins here, let's look at Chainlink. So obviously I was looking at Chainlink on Wednesday, and I was talking about the 7.002 target, and that's exactly what we got. We got tapped into the zone again. So price came down, and I said we'll probably reject off this area, and then we came back, tested these lows, and came back and tested the highs again. So at the moment, what needs to happen for Chainlink is, you can see that we're in some type of trend line at the bottom here. Okay, so with this, in order for Chainlink to carry on going down, this trend line needs to get broken to the downside, right? And with that said, is, you know, what is going to happen with the dollar? So we have to look at the dollar, and you can see that I was expecting some type of retracement over here within today, because we're at such an important support area at the bottom here. You can see that price tapped it, and it looks like we're moving to the upside. So there's a few scenarios, but I do think that we might get some type of retracement before another leg up. Obviously, it's hard, it's hard to know exactly, but with the dollar at such an important level, I do feel like that retracement is going to come within the next couple of days. So yeah, looking at Chainlink, it was that area over here that needs to get broken. So if we break this area, this trend line over here, I'll be looking for shorts back down to 6.050, and then obviously once we at this area, we can look at potential longs back up to zones. And then looking at, let's take a look at Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is quite interesting, because we were in this descending trend line over here where we touched multiple times. Then we actually broke out of the zone, and now we're just retesting this area. So in order for Dogecoin to carry on to the upside, I was looking at potential longs from this zone to this zone, which is around about, I think it was a 20% move. We would need to come up and break these areas, right? So we need to come up and break this zone. But you can see, as long as Dogecoin respects this level, then we can see prices come up. So yeah, predictions for, let me just go back to Bitcoin, because I can see a lot more people are joining. I did write a Q&A at the top there. If you want any charts that you want me to look at, say if you're trading any charts, just put it there. But I'll be going over Bitcoin and Ethereum again, because of the fact that a lot of people weren't here in the beginning. So first prediction for Bitcoin is, we were in this pattern, right? And what is happening now, we broke out of this pattern, and we're finding support at these areas. And then typically with this pattern, we get a retest, right? So we get a retest, and you can see that this arrow I put here, we're getting that retest now. So what I'm looking at is a potential target back down to 19,500. Okay, so because of the dollar strengthening today, we might, and you can see that on the 4 hour, we do have a bearish candle over here. So I do think that we will see some more downside before we see upside. But I am, within the next couple of days and weeks, I do feel like we are very bullish. And what I was saying here, when looking on the daily chart, we are in some type of head and shoulders pattern, like I said earlier. So I'm just repeating myself due to the fact that a lot of people have just joined in now. So we were in this head and shoulders pattern over here. Let me just move this down a bit. So with the head and shoulders pattern, what you take is you take your peak of your head to the resistance line over here, and that is your target area, which is around about 30,000. So in order for that to happen, we need to get a retracement, right? And that's why this retracement zone is at this area of 19,500. Okay, so that is my target zone for Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, it definitely can happen within the next couple of hours. I mean, not hours, sorry, next couple of days. So yeah, we do see some legs to the downside, and with that, you can see that on the RSI here, where are we currently sitting at? Well, we're currently sitting at the overbought region at the top here, and what does that signal? Some movement down. So in order for us to look for longs on the higher time frame, yeah, sure, I'll look at APT for you. Looking for longs for the higher time frame, we need the stochastic to move down and start to turn over. So you can see we're currently at the top here. Okay, so what we need is price to come back down, start leveling out at the bottom here like we had over here, and then get our move up. So yeah, that's currently the prediction for Bitcoin. And yeah, let's go over APT for you. Yeah, APT's been doing very well, very, very well. So looking at APT now, so what can we see here? We can see we're on the daily chart, and we are bullish on the daily, right? We closed bullish yesterday, so we closed bullish yesterday. Let me just see here. Yeah, we closed bullish yesterday, and we are currently bullish on the daily here. So what needs to happen for APT to carry on being going to the upside? Well, obviously this area over here needs to get broken, right? So this zone is an area of resistance, because looking at the past, what has happened at this area? Well, price is rejected off this zone, right? So, and that is currently what we're getting at the moment, right? So we're getting some type of rejection at this area at around about 8.1730. Okay, and I'll just put a price label over here just so we know. Okay, so 8.1730, this area is a rejection zone. Okay, and our support area on the daily would be this zone over here. Okay, so we have our levels now. So now let's dig into the smaller time frame. So we're on the daily here. So on the smaller time frames, what can we see? So we're on the 4-hour chart, and what I can see here is that price is rejecting off this resistance zone. Okay, you can see that price rejects off the zone, but whenever we close above the zone, we tend to move up to where? Well, we tend to move up to areas of this resistance zone. So we have another resistance zone within our range here. So we can draw that out now. Okay, so we have this area, our top of our zone, and then this zone at the moment. So what I would want to see happen here is bars would be valid above this area over here. Okay, so if we break this zone, so I'm just going to move this out and draw these areas better. So let me just get this tool here. Okay, so I would want bars above this zone here. Okay, so bars above this area, and I'll type that out for you. Bars above here, and okay, and I'll be looking at taking profits at around about areas such as this zone over here, which is your next resistance zone, right? Because looking over here, you can see that when price closes above this zone on the 4-hour candle, what happens? Well, you have to look. We closed above here, we came up and tapped into this zone. Closed above here, tapped into this zone. We closed below here, so this is why my zone is over here, because whenever we close below here, we tend to come down. Okay, but if we close above here, probability of us driving up is more likely. So be looking at bars above this zone and then heading up to this area. But if we get a rejection from this zone, we will probably come down to back down to areas at 7.92, which is our support area over here. Okay, and that's where I'll be looking for sells for APT. Okay, So sells would be valid below this zone here. Okay, so I'll be looking for sells below here and bars above. So bars above 8.1330 and sells below 7.9217. Okay, and but the thing is, you would have to wait for a 4-hour or a 1-hour closure, because you can see at the moment when going onto the 1-hour chart, like I've just gone now, what has happened? Well, you can see that price is rejecting off the zone. So in order for us to look for bars, what needs to happen is price needs to close above this area, right? Price needs to close above the zone, because what has happened, whenever we close below the zone, we tend to move down, right? Close below the zone, we move down, but whenever we close above it, we move to areas of higher, okay? You can see here, we closed below here, we closed below here. Whenever we closed above here, we move up. Closed above here, we came down and moved up. So this is why I'm looking for bars above 8.133, okay? And then sells will be valid below 7.92117. So that's currently the situation for APT. It's been doing very well. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, it's recovered pretty much all of its losses within whenever it came out on, obviously it's different when it's on Binance, when it comes out on other coins, but yeah, it is looking very good for Aptos. So yeah, bars. So just wait for a 1-hour candle closure when looking at this. Is there any other charts you would like me to go over? I've gone over Chainlink, Cardano I went over in the beginning, went over Matic, I went over the dollar, Bitcoin, Ethereum, went over Solana. Any other charts that you would like me to look over? And if you guys weren't here in the beginning, I spoke about FTX, right? So FTX looking to restart the exchange, and when that was announced, what is quite interesting, you can see the token actually jumps around about 50%. So that was yesterday, within yesterday and today. So if FTX relaunched the exchange, it'll be quite interesting to see what happens to the people that had accounts in there, if they're going to get their funds back or not. So yeah, very interesting stuff happening at the moment. And then looking at the total market cap, very interesting, because we did break out this bottom trend line here, okay, the top of the trend line. So you can see that price was trading, bouncing, broke out, came back down, and now it's bouncing again. So what we can see happen, maybe come back and test the support zone. That's why I'm expecting some movement down first for Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other coins, because we have some type of the dollar is looking very bullish, so we have to see what happens. But yeah, I am currently still bullish on the higher time frames. Obviously, looking at the weekly for Bitcoin, we can't not be bullish. Let me just take a look here. I mean, looking in the weekly here, it is still bullish, right? We are still bullish, but we will see some retracement, and within the next couple of days, I can see that retracement happening. Yeah, so looking at Bitcoin, like I said, we do have to watch out for these levels. And yeah, if there's any other charts you want me to go over, please put it in the comments, and yeah, we can definitely go over those charts. You can just see at the moment there's no volume at the moment. Price is just consolidating within these zones, and that's currently what's been happening. Looking at the USDT dominance, obviously we have to look at this, and you can see that it's obviously found support at these areas, and with that you can see that we are starting a bit of a bullish move, but we did have a bearish candle yesterday, so it's undecided what's going to happen, but we might see some type of move back down to areas of this region before a move up. But yeah, let's just get back to what my predictions are for here. Let me just put this here. And then just while we wait for people to comment. Yeah, so bars above 1555 and sells below. Let me just check this to sells. Oh yeah, sells below here, bottom. And then Bitcoin looking for bars above this area over here at 21,000. I'm just going to take this away quickly. And then obviously sells below here. Sells below this area here. Yeah, so that's currently this Ethereum here, and then obviously Bitcoin, and then we have Aptos that I went over for potential buys and sells. I'll be going to that chart again just now. But yeah, if there's any other charts that you guys have been looking at or that you guys have been trading, I can look at it to see if we are looking at the same type of thing. So yeah, you can put that in the comments. Yeah, thanks for joining today, guys. And yeah, let's just see if we have any more comments. But yeah, bars are definitely valid above 21,000 here, and then I'm looking for sells below 20,675, right? And where would I be taking profit there? I would be taking profit at areas of support, so at 20,509. Can you please go through link? Yeah, sure. Let me just put this here quickly. Yeah, let's go back. I went through link earlier, but I can definitely do it again. No worries about that. Let me just make this one whole thing. Yeah, so Chainlink, what I was saying for Chainlink is that we add a very important trend line over here, okay? So you can see that price has been moving up and then retracing and then coming down and hitting this trend line. So you can see we bounced off this multiple times within the last couple of days. So what I see is that that's going to happen is we're probably going to break below here, and that's why I'm going to look for sells below this area here, okay? So I'm going to look for sells below 6.394. So I'll be looking at sells below this area because of the fact that we'll be breaking this trend line that we've been trading in for the last couple of days, and because it was our previous resistance over here, and then looking left again, you can see that price has been getting rejected off this area. So we might see a rejection off here, but if we just break straight through it, then we can look at sells back down to obviously zones such as this zone at the top here, this area of support and resistance, right? So yeah, sure, I'll go over Ethereum after this, no worries. So I'll be looking at sells below 6.394. So I'll be looking at that. Sells below here. Okay, so I can't spell. Sells below this zone over here. Because why I'm looking for sells below here, well, obviously we're going to have a trend line break. We're going to have break of structure of the resistance. And what's going to happen, we're going to start forming support here. So sells would be valid back down to areas such as this zone here, okay, which is around about a 5% move. And I am expecting some type of retracement before we get that move up, right? Because like I said, for the dollar, we are seeing some type of move to the upside. And why is the dollar going up? Because we're at this massive support zone that we've been trading in, that hasn't been touched since the 31st of May, right? So And whenever the dollar moves up, you know, crypto tends to move down, right? So because we're at this massive support zone, we're going to see some type of retracement. And this is where I'm going to start buying crypto when the dollar starts to move downwards, right? You don't want to be buying crypto when the dollar is moving upwards because it's going against trend. So when going back to Chainlink, let me just go back to Chainlink. Where's it? There we go. Yeah, looking back at Chainlink, we obviously had that bullish day yesterday, but we are losing steam. So I am looking for sells below this zone over here at 6.394 to roundabout areas. Roundabout areas over here. So something like this, right? Back down to this zone. So yeah, that's currently my thought for Chainlink. So yeah, make sure you if you understood that. But yeah, the reason why I'll be looking at is because we're gonna have a trend line break. We're gonna have this trend line break, and this previous resistance zone would be broken. Because looking left here, we bounce off the zone. So if we don't bounce off the zone and we get a candle, a 4-hour candle to close below here, then we can look at sells back down to areas of $6, right? So yeah, let's go back to Ethereum. So the areas that I'm looking at for Ethereum are over here. Yeah. So I'm looking for buys above 1555, and I'm looking for sells below 1531. Yeah. Actually caught a nice buy yesterday because what happened is we closed above this zone over here. Okay, so we came down, closed above here, took a bar back up to this area, and then that's currently where we've been at today. So what I look at now is obviously this zone at the top here has been acting as crucial resistance and support. Same with over here. And if we get a candle to close above the zone on the 1 hour, then we can look at bars, and that's when I think we're going to get that move. But at the moment, it looks like you can see all these candles here. So you can see how these green candles are getting weaker and weaker, right? So you can see we had a nice move this morning, slowing down momentum, slow down, and then obviously the sellers are starting to kick in. So I'll be looking at sells, definitely. Obviously, I won't get it now because of the fact that it's against my plan. But I'm looking at sells below 1531 back down to 1510, right? Because that's our resistance. Our resistance / support. And you can see we had support there. But what might happen is we can see maybe some type of break of this support zone over here, and we could look at potential sells there. I would be looking at that as well. So just keep an eye out on this level at 1544. If we break this level, we can look at sells back down to at least this zone here. Okay, because this is our most recent support. Okay, and what that means is price has been getting, obviously rejected off this area, right? So whenever price gets rejected off an area, what needs to happen for it not to get rejected is a candle closure needs to close below it in order for it not to get rejected, right? So that is what I'm looking at for this. Obviously, if we get rejected off here, we're probably going to come back up to these zones. But yeah, sells actually, now that I look at this now, I'll be looking for sells below 1544, definitely. So we need to get a candle. So if this 1 hour candle closes below here, then we can see the movement down. And that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum at least, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ethereum's, they've been moving a lot within the last couple of days. But yeah, I mean, you can see how choppy it is. There's a lot of wicks over here. So that's why I don't want to be trading in this range, right? It's kind of a no trade. When I look at this, I feel like there's no trading range here. I want to be trading above this range or below it, right? Because when looking at this, what my strategy entails, we have a range 1, okay? So this is our range 1. Where's our next range? Well, this is our range 2, and then at the bottom here is our range 3, okay? So I'm waiting for basically a range 1 breakout or a range 2 breakout into your range 3, right? Because whenever we're in our range 1, what's going to happen here? We're just going to keep on consolidating. But once we break out of this range, we're going to start coming down, right? Or we break out of this range, we're going to start coming up. So that's how I'm looking at it. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's kind of just consolidating. We'll just have to wait for price to, you mustn't just jump into a trade just because we're seeing a red candle. You want to see confirmation that price is going to break my areas, okay? Once we get a break of this area, then we can see price coming down. Once we get a break of this area, we can see price coming up. At the moment, it's non-tradable for me. Yeah, any other charts? Put them in the comments. I've gone through quite a lot of the charting, but there's obviously a lot of charts that you guys trade and you would like to go through. So I'll just put them in the comments and we can definitely do that. Let's see what the most. Let's check here. Curve has actually been doing quite well. I've been looking at some Curve. Yeah, Algo, I love Algo. Matic also doing very well. Solana. Yeah, there's a lot of coins that have. I went over Dogecoin earlier. I did show you guys. I can go over that again. A lot of people like Dogecoin. I do as well. I actually own a bit of Doge, so Dogecoin. Looking at Dogecoin, I was talking about this zone over here. We have successfully broken out this zone, right? And I'm looking at big buys. Once Dogecoin comes and breaks this level at 0.8930, I'm holding to 0.10 because Dogecoin moves very quickly, right? There's a lot of volume within Dogecoin. There's because of the the market capping, so a small price can move very quickly, right? So with Dogecoin, what I'm waiting for is price to come up this level, and I'm buying with low leverage to the top of the zone. And because whenever we break above the zone, what happens? We come down, we come back into the areas such as 0.10. So Dogecoin is looking very good. Obviously, we'll have to get to that stage. It's but you have to plan out your trades before you execute, right? So make sure you're looking at this because this is a 20% move. It's a 20% move. Imagine catching a 20% move on a 10x leverage, or like a 5x leverage. So 10x would be 200%. 5x would be 100%, right? So just make sure you're looking at this. Dogecoin could be a nice trade, and this will happen within a couple of days. But yeah, definitely looking at this for a potential trade. Obviously, we're gonna have to get up to the areas. I mean, we do have quite a ways to go, but this is definitely a trade that I'm looking at, right? Yeah. For Bitcoin, I did go over Bitcoin earlier. Yeah, same as similar to Ethereum. Looking for bars above this zone here at 21,117, and then sells below this zone here at 20,856. Yeah, it's just this strategy basically just goes over levels such as what range am I in? Because if you think about it, you don't really want to be trading in the current range, because whenever you're in a certain range, so at the moment here, we're in this range, this box right here, okay? We're trading in this box, okay? So this is our range one. I explained it earlier, but I want to go over it again just so you guys understand how important this is, right? Sorry about that. So I just want you to understand how important this is. So we're in this range one, right? And you can see there's no direction. There's nothing happening in this range, But when we're above this range, what happens? Well, price tends to come up to areas such as here. So you have to take advantage of that, right? Same with this range. When price breaks below here, what happens? We tend to come down to this zone. So you want to take advantage of that. You don't want to be taking advantages of your current range, because with your current range, what is happening is price can go either way. But when we break above a certain zone, what happens? We drive up. Broke above here, we drove up. Broke above here, we drove up. Broke above here, we drove up, right? Same with over here. Broke below here, where'd we go? We drove down, right? Broke above here, we drove up to this zone. Broke below here, we drove down. Broke above here, we drive up. So in your range that you have at the moment, let me just take all these things off. Okay, so we're in our range now. So why trade in a range where you don't know direction, right? You want to be trading in this range because we don't know where it's going to go, right? But we can trade above the zone over here, 100%. We want to be trading above and below these zones. So this zone over here, we want to be trading in. I'm just going to mark this out. And we want to be trading in these zones at the bottom here. But in this zone over here, I'm going to mark it red. This is my no trade zone. Yeah, I don't trade in this zone. I don't want to trade in a zone that I don't know the direction. I want to trade in a zone where I can predict the direction, right? This direction from 21 to 2900, I don't know where it's going to go. But I know that if we break 21,000, we could potentially go up to 21,400. So I'll trade in that range. But I don't want to be trading in this range currently. So that's how you must view it. And that's how I view it. So yeah. If there's any other charts that you want me to go over, put it in, and I can definitely do that. And also put down where you guys are from. I'm from Durban, South Africa. And yeah, if you guys want to, you can, wherever you guys are from, just put it down in the comments. I know there's a lot of Nigerians here. A lot of, I think, a lot of Cape Town people. But yeah, a lot of different people. So it's quite nice that we're all coming together here. Yeah, Aptos bars above the zone, definitely, for Aptos. You guys weren't sure for that. So I'm looking for bars above this area. We're from Lagos. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know quite a few people from Lagos. Well, I've connected with a few people from there. Yeah, so Nigeria is obviously a big crypto place. So yeah, I mean, also I think Nigeria is one of the biggest growing crypto countries in Africa, which is very exciting. So yeah, you must be killing it then, eh? But yeah, it's quite interesting that we all come together, and in Africa we all one, if you know what I mean. So Cape Town. Yeah, I used to actually study in Cape Town. It's a very nice city. It's very the thing is with Cape Town, the weather is just a bit. I do not like the weather there, to be honest. But it is very nice. You get the hot and cold and the winds and in one day. So yeah, it's quite interesting. From South Africa. Whereabouts in South Africa are you from? There is a lot of countries in South Africa. Yeah, I mean, so this is the trades. If you guys want to put these levels, make sure you do that. These are the levels that I'm looking at for potential positions. And like I said earlier, from Johannesburg. Okay, nice. Yeah, actually, I went there last year because I have a lot of family that live there. And how's it going there? I mean, to be honest, I don't like it there in terms of because of I like the sea. I like the sea, and You know that all you have is the Vol Dam, and obviously you can go wakeboarding and all of that, but I do enjoy, you know, obviously the sun and the sea. But yeah, obviously everyone to their own. But yeah, I hope it's all good there. Um, yeah. If there's any other questions or any charts you want to go through, put them now. I'll be on here until 2 o'clock, and then I would have to go. But thanks so much for everyone being here. I hope you guys learned a lot. And yeah, obviously, if you want to take these trades, make sure you have tight stop losses, and then just keep your profits quite neat and tidy. You don't want to settle for, you know, obviously looking at this ETH trade here, it is a 2% move. So if you want to take profits, you know, at the 1% or the 0.8%, it's definitely, you obviously want to take profits more so than you're holding for potential loss, right? So just make sure you're managing risk. Yeah, the FTX token went up so much yesterday. I don't know if this is legit though, because when looking at this, they want to restart the exchange. So yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday and then Friday. Yeah. Remember, next week we do have a bit of news. Let me just get that. So next week, Monday, end dates. Next week, Friday. So on Monday we don't have any news. Tuesday we have quite big news at 4:45, and then Wednesday we have a bit of news at 5:30, and then Thursday we have big news. We have GDP quarter-on-quarter news. So remember that Thursday is gonna be quite big, and then Friday we also have PCE big news. So next week's gonna be quite interesting. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. And what time on Wednesday? Yeah. So I think you said you were from. Okay, well it's that African time. So on Wednesday it is. It's every 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. every day. I mean every Wednesday and Friday. So yeah, make sure you put that in your calendar. So it's 1 p.m. But if you subscribe to the channel and put your bell notification on, it will send you you know, obviously a notification, and you'll get that prior the time of the actual live. So yeah, it's every Wednesday and Friday 1 p.m. and see you guys then. Thanks so much for joining. Cheers, guys.